Call the May 11th meeting, the Shelby Township Planning Commission to order. I'll ask the secretary to read the roll, please. Call the roll.
Yes, Mr. Dallo. Mr. Dallo. I
mute.
see him. I thought I saw him.
Mute. It's at the top of the page.
Okay, he's here, right?
Yeah, we see him.
I'm here.
Ms. DeSico?
Here.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Here.
Mr. Meredith?
Here.
Mr. Turner?
Here.
Mr. Apone?
Here.
Mr. Flynn?
Here.
Chairman Moffat, we have a quorum.
Great. Next is approve the agenda.
So move.
Support.
So I moved by Dallo, support by DeSico. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, approval of the minutes from the March 23rd meeting.
So move.
Support.
Support. Moved by DeSico, support by Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So this evening we've got two items. The first, a correspondence from Aberdeen Subdivision. Julie, do we have a representative presenting this?
What's that?
Do we have someone presenting this?
We do not. I told him it was not necessary, Chairman Moffat. This is just Aberdeen Subdivisions number 1 and 2 is amending and restating their subdivision declaration of restrictions to reflect current and best practices, to simplify their bylaws, and also to enhance the understanding of the documents by removing outdated verbiage and other, portions of that to comply with current requirements. The township attorney has reviewed it, so has the township engineer. They are going to modify their bylaws according to their recommendation and record and file it and submit it. So part of their bylaws required that it was approved by Shelby Township, so this is the purpose of this being on the agenda.
So are we approving this or are we receiving and filing it?
Receive and file.
Okay. Are there any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Moved by Flynn, support by Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item, under old business, site plan number 18-01, Beacon Point, PUD. There are a couple of modifications that are being proposed, and I see that the representative or developer is here. So, Mr. Penna, if you wanted to give your name and address, and then just state briefly what you're requesting of the body.
Sure. Anthony Penna, 37600 Van Dyke, Sterling Heights, Michigan. I am proposing to modify the PUD to allow for private, on a high level, to allow for private roads throughout the entire development. As it stands right now, a portion of the development has private roads throughout them, and then the portion to the north has public roads. So we'd like to modify the PUD to allow for private roads throughout the entire development. And then we also have some changes to the landscaping plan. We've worked on the landscaping plan. We want to make some modifications. We want to add to it. And then also there is a duplication of a sidewalk that we'd like to remove. About 50 to 100 feet. It's almost 1,500 feet of a sidewalk that is duplicated, that we would like to move, that we laid out in the landscaping plan. So those are the requests on a high level. I can get much more specific. The landscaping plan, I hope you guys like it. We've added another 14 trees to the plan. And what we're trying to do is create a natural buffer between the entrance of Beacon Point and the school, which is to the north, that stretch there is about almost 1,400 feet that goes from east to west. So we're trying to create a buffer between the school and the development. And so what we've done is we've added some more trees, spruce trees, 8-foot spruce trees. And then what we've also done too is they had some trees that were adjacent to some of the natural trees to the south of the development. Kind of took those and relocated those along the entranceway. We think we've added to the beautification of the subdivision, and as it relates to the sidewalk, again, it's duplicative. If you see where we want to remove the sidewalk, there is a sidewalk that's completely parallel to it. So it really serves no purpose whatsoever. I can explain in more detail if there's questions.
Okay. I didn't have any issue. I did one question though. Now there is an entrance through that north side by the school. So there is an opportunity.
Yeah. So so there's an entrance on the north side, correct? But and this is how, and I think it was how I explained it at the initial planning commission meeting. Quite frankly, I think I probably confused people. The concern here is for kids when they're walking to get to Beacon Tree Elementary, because we do provide a ingress egress along the entranceway, right? But the sidewalk that we want to remove is to the north of the entrance road. Okay, so any children that would be coming from north to south would not be using that sidewalk, if you're following me.
Yeah. All right. So my question along that stretch, that 1,400 feet along, that border, that sort of southern border of the school, is there an entrance into the school? So do you provide, or if the kids are walking along that southern sidewalk that's to remain, can they cross over and get into the school grounds, or no? Or do they have to go through, either enter through the west or through the east off of Shaner?
No, we are providing a cut, an ingress egress into Beacon Tree. Yeah.
Good. All right. So my question to you is, will you put a crosswalk? Will you stripe, because it's now, if it is a private road, will you stripe it as a crosswalk just to provide for just a little bit of more safety and security for the kids that do cross over?
Yes, and that's why I've laid out I've also attached the sheet from our construction, our engineering plans that shows the design, that shows the traffic control measures that we have proposed, and it was this plan was already approved by the road commission, and I also provide, as well as the township engineer. However, it was approved under the guise of public roads. So now what we're simply doing is we're keeping everything in the same, and we're only simply changing the designation from public to private. When I say we're keeping everything the same, we're not changing anything from the design to the layout to the construction, as well as the traffic control measures. That all stays the same. As well as the township engineer will review that too and ensure that that's the case. Okay, that's the long answer. The short answer is
my memory isn't what it used to be, and so and looking at these small drawings, is there going to be a painted crosswalk?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I just want to make sure if we're taking off that sidewalk that there's just to the board. Any questions? Julie, your comments?
Chairman Moffitt, I don't have a problem with the proposed changes. Mr. Penna is asking for. Originally, this subdivision or this development was approved with private roads. Somewhere along the line, it was changed to public roads. But as far as that, the roads are concerned, I don't have a problem with that. The modifications with the removal of the sidewalk on the north side of Preston, or is that Prestonville Drive? I don't have a problem with that either. The only thing that I asked for, and Mr. Penna clarified that, was that there was an opening to the school for the residents that live along that stretch. I believe it's across from lots 4 and 5. And then we'll take the 14 additional trees. So I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, good. If there are no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the revised site plan for Beacon Point planned unit development that includes converting the roads to private roads, the revised landscape plan that includes the removal of the sidewalk on the north side of Prestonville Drive and additional landscaping.
Support.
Moved by DeSico, support by Pone. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. DeSico?
Yes.
Commissioner Pone?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Flynn?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Meredith?
Yes.
Commissioner Dalu?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so
Now
much.
you can start building again.
We're ready. We're anxious.
Cool. Before I ask for the last motion, I gotta wonder, I gotta speculate, how bad was the haircut that Tracy gave Mr. Flynn there to warn? No.
It's a Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
I kind of like this. You guys don't mind if I stay on, do you?
Well,
This is the most interacting I've had in a while.
Screensaver, yeah. Okay, well, with that, Mr. Dalu?
A motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
Is your support? Moved in support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Motion
just-
carries.
just to let you guys know, the next meeting is canceled due to Memorial Day. Okay.
The only thing that hasn't been, the only thing that's still open. Well, everyone be safe. Take care. We'll hopefully see you in person in June.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Safe.
Good night.